there, Stephen Fennick from Tech Guide here, and we're here to chat about the new iPhone 10. A lot of people eager to get their hands on this product. It comes out later this week. We've had it for a couple of days for our review, and we just wanted to share with you our first impressions of the product, like what's life like without a home button? How do you use the phone without that button that we've been used to for so many years? What's Face ID like? How fast is it? How well does it work? How good is the battery? How good is the camera? Well, we're going to answer all of those questions for you in this video right now. Okay, here we go. Here we've got the new iPhone 10 next to the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 8 Plus. And size-wise, we've got 4.7-inch screen versus a 5.5-inch screen. iPhone 10 has a 5.8-inch screen. So despite the fact the iPhone 10 has a larger screen than the iPhone 8 Plus, it's still noticeably smaller than the iPhone 8 Plus, which has a 5.5-inch screen. So it's a really nice size. So I'm calling it the Goldilocks phone. It's not too big, not too small, it's just right. So anyone who's used to the smaller device, the 7, the 6, the 7 or the 8, and consider that the Plus devices, the 6, the 7 and the 8, were maybe too big, then the iPhone 10 is a great middle ground for those users. Okay, now we're going to focus on, of course, the iPhone 10. Now, first thing you notice, of course, is hard to miss, is this edge-to-edge display. 5.8 inches, no home button. We'll get to that in a minute. But this display is OLED, HDR, True Tone display as well, and it looks incredible. Once you get this in your hand and see the quality for yourself, you'll notice just exactly how good it is. Now, without a home button, there are things that you really need to get used to, because considering we've had a home button on an iPhone for 10 years now, not having an iPhone is something that we're going to have to get used to. But the good news is it is fairly intuitive. So without a home button, it also relies on Face ID. So previously when we had to use our fingerprint, now we can just wake up the phone and it's looked at me and you'll see the padlock is now unlocked. I'll do that one more time. So I'll wake up the display, it's caught sight of me, and that padlock is unlocked, and now I can now sweep up and go to the home screen. It's a great idea that the Face ID doesn't take you directly to the home screen, because you could accidentally look at the phone or glance at the phone and it so quickly unlocks the phone. It's a matter of seconds. In fact, it's quick enough for you to raise the phone, wake up, and you see how quickly that happens. So it was fast enough to recognise my face, and me just sweeping up within a split second, it recognised me and allowed that to happen. So that's great news in terms of Face ID. People are wondering, is Face ID going to take longer? Is it going to be more cumbersome than a fingerprint? No, it's not. It is really fast, and it wakes your phone up straight away, unlocks your phone straight away, and you can get to everything you need to do. Okay, there's no home button, but don't panic. The iPhone 10 is still really easy to use. Now I'm going to wake it up again. Face ID unlocks it, sweeping up, and that's going to take me to the home screen. If I was starting the iPhone 10 for the very first time, I would have had to enter my passcode. Or if it hasn't been used for a couple of days, I'd have to use my passcode again. But you saw how quickly that is. I'll give you a quick glance at the back, actually, before we get into the demonstrating the use of the phone without the home button. But I've got the silver edition. There's also the black available. And what I've noticed too is that whether you have the silver or the black, the phone from the front actually looks the same, so it still has that black border. Unlike the iPhone 8, if you've got a silver or a gold, the front is white. Only the space grey has the black front, but with both models of the iPhone 10, they are both the same. So it's got that black frame around the display. Okay, no home screen. So we're going to demonstrate a few scenarios here. So I've gone way into my app pages. How do I go home? Normally, I have to press a home button, but without having a home button, you simply sweep up and it takes you back to the home screen. If you want to use Siri, you can either say, "Hey Siri," and that works, or you can hold the side button. So here's the button on the side. You can hold that, and that activates Siri as well. Other things you can do. The control center. Previously, getting to the control center was a sweep up from the bottom of the screen. But now, that's the gesture that takes you home. So what do we do now? Well, take a look on either side of the notches here, okay? Right-hand side, if you sweep down from the right-hand side, that is how you get to the control center. And you can go home again. Your notifications, which is normally a sweep from the top, it still is a sweep from the top, but you've got to sweep down from the left side, so that'll give us our notifications as well. The other thing you need to do, at first I was working out how to turn it off. Normally, a long press of the power button on the right-hand side gives you the option to turn it off. Well, a long press now gives you Siri. So what you need to do is press the power button, or the Siri button I should call it, and one of the volume keys. If you press them together, that'll give you the option to turn it off. But I'll cancel that. If you want to access Apple Pay, now it just takes 2 presses of the side button to bring in your credit card. But also paying with Apple Pay too, I should note. Previously you would have had to put your fingerprint in there, but now if you double tap, it'll actually look for my face. So I can then use that to pay. Once it's recognised my face with Face ID, I can then use the device to pay. Another feature we want to show you is multitasking. Previously, it took 2 presses of the home button to get up all the apps that you have been using. With the iPhone 10, you sweep up and stop halfway, and that will then give you all the apps you've been using. Now, if you want to get rid of them, you need to press and hold it until you see these red symbols on the top left corner, and then you can start closing down those apps. But what you can also do, you can actually go between various apps. So just by sliding along the bottom of the phone, lets you scroll through all the apps that you've had open. And then it'll let you then select the app that you want to stay with. And then you sweep back up and you're back to the home screen. One last thing I'll talk about is the battery. Now, I've only had this a couple of days, so I have had, usually it will go through an entire day. The battery, I think I charged it at about 7 p.m. and it went through till the following day at 7 p.m. and I still had about 22% of the battery left. And that was using the phone with all of my running all my apps, running everything as I normally would a phone. So I was with emails, social media, phone calls. The battery actually lasted easily an entire day. So battery performance, I'd say, is above average. Well, that's the iPhone 10. Goes on sale this week. There's the back. It's got wireless charging, just like the iPhone 8. It's got the twin cameras on the back, so that both have optical image stabilization. The front camera, located here in the notch, also allows for portrait modes as well. Photos look brilliant on here, by the way. That's a picture of my dog. I'll just double tap to take him full screen, and you can just see how brilliant that is. It really displays your photos tremendously. That looks excellent. This screen is so sharp. You probably can't appreciate that looking at this video, but once you get one in your hands, you'll agree with me. The display is absolutely brilliant. But that is the iPhone 10. Goes on sale this week, so the 64 gig version will be priced, this is Australian dollars, $1,579. The 256 version will be $1,829, available in silver and black. And if you want to read our complete review, be sure to go to our website, techguide.com.au.